Hello, welcome back. Last time I got World 4 Loop 2 and World 10 done. Finally. It took a bit. So, I'm here at the cusp of World 5, where occlusion comes into the picture. I tried to use that in some World 10 puzzles. It didn't end up being the key. Okay, so I can enter this even if I can't see what I'm doing. In case that matters. Anyway. These are kind of sticking out to me. I'm thinking about, like, there haven't been any... Oh, wait a second. There haven't been any, of those, like, square in a square blocks that let me reorient anywhere in the overworld. What if that's what this turns into? Oh, that could totally be. There are all these pillars here. I kind of vaguely had a thought once about reorienting the overworld, but... that never went anywhere, but now that I think about it, I strongly suspect it will someday, somehow. Anyway, 5-1, Peaks and Valleys. Yeah, Peaks and Valleys.
Over the years,
it's
the
rainy.
Shifted and evolved. It was normal for members to come and go, along with their interest in music.
Okay, so here's where Jan starts having a real bad time, right? I have been waiting to find out what the actual story is here. Now, how am I gonna bop that? By putting the brown box here. That's what I desire. Okay. Should be easy enough, as long as I have that goal in mind. Go, oops, one less. You go right there, and I bop this, and I was not standing where I thought I was, but that works fine, except... not quite. I needed to do that from another orientation, just checking to see if I can reorient at all. The level entry spaces, well, I guess it's a double square. This is the reorientable ones are single. But at some point, I should see if I can bump into a level space. Maybe it would flip the whole thing fully upside down, like 180 degrees instead of 90. And that's what the double square is. Okay, so if I need to not be in this orientation, but instead shoot which one? So let's go back to where I made the bop. So what I wanted was this way? What? That would appear to be it. I have to be facing... No way. How would that work? This makes much more sense. Wait, or... No, it's not that I want to be facing this way, I just need to swap our positions, that's all. Okay. So change the right, don't change this rotation, change the angle from which I hit the block. Alright. More axes of rotation to think about. And that, it's been actually kind of nice that that hasn't been a mechanic to worry about in the Jan levels so much, because it was, I don't know, a little hard to think about when it was, but I'm sure it'll come back. Maybe in combination lock. Nope.
Imagine that feeling of a teacher calling on you when you didn't know the answer, or your boss asking for your opinion in the middle of a meeting you weren't listening to.
Ooh.
The feeling of being somewhere you don't belong. Being thrust into the spotlight and quickly having to improvise a poorly thought out, undercooked plan. Now imagine feeling that feeling with every single interaction you have, no matter how regular or mundane. After a while, wouldn't you find it exhausting? Jan had been exhausted almost his entire life.
I don't think that would take a very long while. I almost want to listen to that again. There was a lot going on in there. Oh dear, this is scary. Sorry, I'm split between trying to look at the puzzle and trying to contemplate what was just said. Oh boy, okay, so I'm just gonna go with the puzzle and let the speech speak for itself. I don't have to add my own personal take on top of every little snippet of this story. In fact, in some cases I probably make it worse by doing that. Okay, combination lock. So you... What do I think I want here? So if this is held, let's start by just holding a thing. That goes up. Hold a thing. This goes up, that goes down. What? Ah! This is terrifying. Can I reduce this to just one to... Oh, I think I see. Okay, this is a 2 from this angle. It's a little hard to see. Okay, so let's just read it out this way. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So ultimately the state I desire is for all 4 of these to be physically pressed. And I need the ability for 3 of my perspectives. Well, okay. So my control once I'm over here is camera rotation. The actions that will get me toward the end are walk across the 4. So I need a perspective from which all of the 4 of these appear to be pressed. Okay? Then once I'm here, I need a perspective from which exactly 3 of them are pressed. Then once I'm here, because I need this to come up without that going down. From here I need a perspective where 2 of them are pressed. From here I need a perspective where 1 of them is pressed. Okay, so that's what this machine is expressing. I just need 4 unique angles. One of them occludes 3 boxes on switches. One occludes 2 boxes on switches. One occludes 1 box on a switch. And the 1, 2, 3 don't have to always be the same boxes. So at least 1 is never occluded, or never needs to be. Well, but again, it's not always the same one. I don't need an angle where all 4 are occluded, is the way to phrase that. So I think the reason these start not on the switches... Oh, that's neat. Yeah, so check it out. Here's an angle where 3 are occluded. And all angles are compatible with moving through here, as far as I can tell. So right now, I already have 2 1 angles and 2 2 angles. Okay, well, you know what? Let's iterate from here. I want to touch the yellow. And there's a spot where I can do that right here. I touched the yellow. How does that affect things? This is a 1, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 2. So I still have 2 2s and 2 1s, but they're different. Let's touch the purple, which I do from here. Here's a 3 angle. I will need that. Okay. Wait, but I need a 0 angle, don't I? The way I'm counting is... This is actually kind of close. I haven't done any solving yet, other than understanding what the machine does. But okay, I think from this particular state I can determine which single move will get me to the end, if any. Okay, so valid 1 visible states. This orientation, that's a 3, that's a 2, that's a 1. Alright, so I have 2 1s, this and this. I need a perspective where all 4 are visible. So I think that just means I'm going to have to turn the 3 into that. That has not done it. Ah. Okay. Well, unless I move this and the cyan... can I escape this? Ooh, so once I move purple, pink, whatever, magenta, the color in that range, it's not moving anymore. It's real hard to see just like what in general is happening. I want magenta, pink, purple to move back to where it was. Okay. I'm gonna move cyan. Not great, actually. Okay, so I've done very little work. Most of my work has been in understanding. So I'm choosing a different starting point here. Yes, all boxes on switches. Like, that's non-negotiable. Okay. So with that default state, let's start by getting everything exposed from some angle. So from this, actually, let's start by getting as much exposed as I possibly can. Here we go. Can I move green from here? I totally can. But cyan may not be so cooperative, and also green... No, I can get off. Wait, but did I? What did I do? No, this is fine. Alright, cyan. What will you do if I step on you? Here we go, I have a 4 angle. Okay, I have a 4 angle. Which means I can reach this point now. Now I need a 3 angle, a 2 angle, and a 1 angle. I have a 2 angle, I have a 3 angle, I have a 2 angle. If I can simply transform one of my 2 angles to a 1 angle, then that will fully solve the puzzle. Let's move red and that might just do it. Yeah, at this point, I'm happy to just try things that look like they might get me toward the goal. And see how they do. 1, 4, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so just once I understand what the goal is, some luck may have been involved, but getting there was not too bad. Lock has been picked. Oh, that was cool. Okay. Very daunting, but not so bad to actually do. Neat! Okay, I see. This is a level space. Oh, it can be hidden. Ah, so all of these will be hidden from different angles, probably. There's like an extra funny constraint on this. Waning Interest.
Fitch, though gradually drifting from the leadership role he'd given himself as the community became self-sustaining, felt comfortably seated among his peers. But he noticed Jan becoming increasingly distant.
So the spots I need to bop are in those places. Does that imply some stack of boxes go here? If a stack of boxes goes there... Actually, just hold 2 and put 1 here. I can't hop onto 1 in that location. What would that look like? Let's pretend I could. Oh, right, and I need elevation to unstack, so let's... Hold 1, hold 1. So this is second to last world. Of the ones that I know about, at least. So we're getting kind of close to the conclusion of the story once again. But I'm sure it's going to be a long journey through these last 2. Okay, so I have here something similar to what I want. Now, if this is too tall, it's too tall. Yes. If I was down 1 and I made this move, that would be what I wanted, or this move. However, if it was 1 shorter... Oh, well, all I have to do is just make the bridge wider instead of taller. Easy. That fixes everything. Right? I do that. Stick this here. Stick this here. Then I have a valid 2 over 1 over move to do this. Oh shoot, I have a triangle here that needs to not actually be visible, don't I? Okay, that's not gonna work. I see. The reason it worked, well, at least let me bop this cube and this cube when it was taller is because there was no equivalent of this triangle visible higher up. Because the red square was, red cube was occupying, like, that hexagon. Including everything other than, you know, this boundary that looks like it could do that. Okay. So, I'm not going to be including this from the place where I am, unless I have one in my head. If one was on my head while I was doing this... How do the box on head physics work in this game? You just hold it there, and it doesn't, like, doesn't fall off or doesn't constrain movement or anything. Okay, I think I can set up box on head. There are other things I could also look at, but I think box on head is a very reasonable thing to try here. Let's see, the best place to do that would be right around here. Perfect. Okay, so that will do it. There are a couple of problems, but I think they're all perfectly solvable. Okay, so first thing is I need to split this stack apart. Always takes a little bit of doing, but never all that much. I don't need you for anything other than switching. So get to switching. Then you go here. I get back on top somehow. Now I have a stack of 2, and from this angle, before I press that, I'm ready for scraping. Now, this block looks like it's locked against a wall, but that's easily fixed as long as I have one that's not, and enough space to do something about that. So I have some more occlusion hazards here. Slide, slide, slide. I get a little bit longer when I slide. But yeah, so I can restack these in an orientation like this. There we go, and now you're away from the wall. Too tall is not what I want, so I'm going to re-unstack you. Put you on the switch. Stick this one where it goes. Sure, that's fine. Eventually. Ah, but the issue is I needed the thing that's now on my head in order to get on that thing that's not. Oh, there was a big flaw in my plan this whole time. So, I mean, just to try this out such as I can. Yeah, so I can totally bump against this block. And if this were in that position and I could get on top of it still, I could totally bump against that block. However, those things are not simultaneously true. Because yeah, now there's just no path directly onto that from any perspective I have access to. I think it's pretty much no way it's either of these that I'm touching. Those are strictly out of reach in all cases that would be relevant. Yeah. I feel like I'm close to something, but I might just have gone down what's ultimately a dead-end path. If I push this farther along... No, I don't think that's gonna help. Just a try. Well, I can't really. Well, no, I can't really. This thing on my head is just not actually helping me at all. Okay, since this is a world about occlusion, yeah, I know I can occlude that. And the main solution to the puzzle was, let's redo that just to see if it gives me any new insights. Since I can clearly see what it is from here. Unstack you. Put on switch. Unstack one more time. Oops, that's too far. So now I have a thing of 2. I have a switch holder. And you can be used for the purpose of hiding that away. So main solution would look like this. This isn't a magic spot. This isn't a magic spot. Yeah, it'd be funny if that had a little symbol on it, but it doesn't. Yeah, if I could just have a block up here, that'd be great. I can't imagine how that could be possible because I just don't have enough for that. I can't perform the act of occlusion while one is still held with any fewer boxes than this. Ah, but... could I... Okay, could I get here with 0 held? Yes. Yes, I could. Pretty easily at that. I have plenty of room to do an operation that looks like this. So this is probably the actual path. And I have exactly enough room to make that shorter by 1. Okay, I still think that's impossible though. Because the prerequisites... I would need a brown box on here. Wait, yeah, of course I can do that. Yeah, of course I can do that. Okay, I see. This is pretty clever. So that has to go in... Oh boy. Okay, I think I can do this. And why do I think things that are not true are true? No. Wait! Maybe. Okay. Alright. I'm cooking something. I think I'm on the right track. It's just I'm not all the way there yet. So let's get one stripped off the stack. Yes, yes, I would like to be in a place I just cannot see right now. There we go. Okay, so from that state, I wish to just manually, with no perspective weirdness, other than the usual, push that over the gap with 2 of these pressed. There we go. So with that in place, now I unpress everything, recollect my boxes, restack my boxes, then this might work? Yeah, that'll work just fine. This step of it will. Another step of it might not, but let's do this much at least. Okay, this was an important state change to have made, I think. So here I have my spot where I wish to stand to push that way. Problem is, I can't put my lack of feet onto that spot from here. I don't have a tower tall enough. I don't see how I could possibly bridge to it if I, like, unstack. Actually, I can't even unstack now. Wait, hang on. I didn't need to do that, did I? Yeah, I did. That had to be against the wall for that to... Oh. So additional problem is this is against a wall now. Can I pull something off of it? Not exactly. Like, this won't go anywhere. And from these angles, I can't quite make it look like it will, I think. think I've run into a dead end. So this angle's just as good as that angle. Assuming there's a level spot on like both of these. Maybe it's just one. Shouldn't matter too much. But how do I get up there? So I had, for a moment, the idea of repressing these, bringing these down, and then that's still not being high enough for me to hop onto it from here. And if it was high enough, then it would be too high once it went back up. Because yeah, the surface of that would be a triangle here, but not a rhombus there. That's what I would need to roll onto it. And that's assuming that once I had rolled onto that, I could pull it back up. But looking at this from that angle, this perspective, if I was here down, then I can just bop that. Okay, it's much simpler than what I was doing. All I have to do... Okay. Well, alright, so I invented some fun new puzzles that didn't end up being relevant here. The simple way is actually the right way. I don't need to stand on anything. Nope. All I need is 2 switch pressed, 1 thing to occlude, just like the regular solution. Here's my occluder. What I didn't spot was that this is viable. And that's not where the spot is, so what I actually want is this. Okay, neat. Alright, a heavy shield. Ah!
The music and its early community had given Jan a taste of the comfort he'd been missing. But more than anything, it made him realize how heavy of a shield he'd been holding up.
So all these boxes gotta be... not on any switches. No, I only need to get 1 off of the, everything. That should be simple, right? All I gotta do is occlude 1, right? Well, hang on. No, 1 is... No, this doesn't count down below 0. What is its, like, actual nominal value? Let's get these all stacked up and tucked away if possible. Oops. Hey. The sound of this, that's fun. For a second, you changed numbers. Okay, so... Hey! Actually... there might be something to... Okay. So when I push this, I see 1 briefly. Because there's a brief moment when nothing is held. Okay, so remember this is the world of occlusion. If something is invisible, it doesn't exist. For certain definitions of something. Maybe all definitions of something, but it didn't feel like it to me. Okay, so making that move did me no favors. Getting in here is quite a task, but doable. So this is a that's not a magic spot. No, that's not hiding a switch. My mistake, I looked at it wrong. Well, isn't it though? It's hiding a switch, but the problem is the box is what needs to be hidden, of course. And there's no perspective where any actual... Well, now hang on. There's no perspective where any switch other than this one is hidden. And if that's true, there's not going to be one where any box is hidden either. So your existence Means I can't just stack these all in my head. Other things mean that too. But your existence is one of the things that means that. Just stack everything on my head, get in here, and be able to leave with a big hat on my noggin. So what's the idea then? I don't have any means to cause these just to fall off entirely. There's this one clean space here. I'm going to be standing on stuff. I can reduce the number, but a reduction to something other than 0 seems insufficient. That's also not how I reduce. I mean, it could be. So from this angle, only... actually, now hold on. This is better than I thought. Aha! Okay, I'm starting to see. No, that's no good, because you're not actually connected to this. You're a separate thing on top of my head. This block is, like, super messing me up. So only one thing is being held at a time here. But it seems like the only way to get to that to 0 is that there is no way. Why is all this? Like, up here, over there? Wait. Oh, hold on. There are 2 switchless surfaces, if I don't count the top of a brown square, which maybe I should. Here and here. Is there any way I could put something on top of that? Maybe? Let's unstack some stuff. Whoa! Oh, the spin. Okay. Sweet, 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 sweet. That's the wrong way to push. I was doing something. I can't hold a thought in my head for long enough for that, though. Can I? Sometimes I can. I wanted to make this... Oh yeah, I can do that. So this is insufficient, but it does do one interesting thing, which is to get me here. And get me stuck forever. Okay. Well, I'm standing on top of the goal. For some definition of on top of. Okay. How do I hide away this heavy shield? I only have to hide the bottom component of it. So I guess other ways to conceive of this. If I would stick that object in a place it's really hard to get to. Here. Then yeah, you can see this one toggling. And I could certainly put you in the line of occlusion too. I don't even have to stack to do it. That has 2 hidden, but there's still 1 pressed, and that's this high up thingy. There's some, like, near adjacencies to getting a block on here. This only has to come up... Only has to be able to come up 1. If it's jammed up on the top, that's fine. But I don't see how I'm getting any blocks there. Like, I could stack up to 2 on that thing. Can things that are on my head be scraped differently? I'm feeling almost like I need to discover a mechanic here that I haven't seen before, but that may not be true. I'm probably just not thinking of doing something. Now hold up. What does this do? Oh. Wait, okay, so if then... That's a safe spot. And I have things on my head. So if this block could... Actually, yeah, if this block could be deleted, and I would stand here with a tall hat, then we'd be good. That can't hold up anything more. But yeah, it's not pressing anything... Like, the only thing being pressed right now is the one that I'm on. Yeah, having a negative counter on this would help a little bit, but that's okay, I can do it manually. So yeah, my next desire would be to stick... even if I could stick 2 of these on top of here, so it still has enough room to go up by 1, I'd still have 1 more box unaccounted for and no place to put it. So the shield remains heavy. With just the 1 clean space. Well, but again, it's not just the 1 clean space. Okay, so yeah, I failed to notice before that this is a place where a switch can be hidden, a block on a switch can be hidden. There are probably others I'm not noticing. This is not, this merely hides a switch, not a block. This doesn't hide anything, this hides something useful, this doesn't hide anything, wrong perspective, wrong perspective. So the most useful hiding spot is there. That's where I can tuck something I don't want, such as something that was left on the ground when I made a tall hat for myself. Okay, but that's not enough, because my hat gets knocked off my head. Can I have it knocked off in another place, or when it's knocked off, could I dump it into the void? To perform a scraping action that causes a fall that does not resolve on any visible surface here. Maybe that's possible, so let's go back to where I have a hat. Woo! Don't look at the screen. Let's try and understand scraping actions I could do. There's this obvious one. That's a physical one, not any perspective trickery, so it's always going to go the same way. I don't think there are any others. I mean, there's this one, but that's already used up for making the hat in the first place. This is not anything... This isn't quite anything? Is there a way that could be something? 010101. That can be done last minute, so I really have zero worries about this block, as long as this is a valid perspective for everything else I want to do. But what else would I want to do? I can get on here and off there. Cool. Great. Does that matter somehow? Not in any way that I can perceive. Now, hold on. Let's, So I put a stack of 4 here and I was able to walk from there to there, which didn't help anybody or anything, but it is a thing I can do. Okay, but basically this means I have one more clean space than I thought. This counts as a clean space. Is there something else that does that I'm just not perceiving? Certainly not from this perspective. Okay, let's go back to the idea of a scrape causing these to fall off and disappear. Okay, that does give me an idea. This would mean I would need an additional hat on my head. But I'm thinking... Oh, well... I can't see myself here, and that fall would totally resolve if I did things that way. I was thinking of, like, from that perspective, moving... Oh. Well, yeah, but doesn't matter. Not seeing this one. Do I want to set it down? Yeah, I think I would rather come back another day than take a hint now, because I feel like this is an observation I should be able to make, and I want to give it another chance later. So sometimes a hint is the right option, sometimes waiting is the right option. This feels like a waiting situation. Alright, I will try this again next time, and maybe I will see what it is that I need to do in 11.2.